All right, we're diving deep today. We're heading into the jungles of 1920s India for a story of pure terror, survival, and a hunt for a ghost that walked on four paws. This is the harrowing, true account of the Tallah Des man-eater.
You know, that's a great quote, but in the Kumaon hills back in 1929, it took on a whole new, terrifying meaning. For the people huddled in their homes, and for the man who came to help them, this was no sport. This was a desperate battle for survival against an enemy they couldn't even see.
So, picture this. For 8 long years, an entire region is basically held hostage. It wasn't just a tiger. It became a ghost in the shadows, a living nightmare that haunted every single footpath and silenced every field with its unseen presence.
And this was its legacy. 150. That's not just a number, you guys. That's 150 human lives taken. It was like a death sentence hanging over every man, woman, and child in the area.
I mean, can you even imagine a fear so intense that it literally starves you? That's what was happening. Villagers became prisoners in their own homes because the very fields that fed them were now a death trap. Every rustle of leaves, every shadow at dusk, it could be the end. Life itself was just shrinking under the constant watch of this man-eater.
So into this absolute terror walks Jim Corbett. But here's the thing. He's not some action hero at the top of his game. No way. He's a man fighting his own private war against this crippling, excruciating pain, with a burst eardrum and abscesses sending waves of agony through his head.
And things happen fast. I mean, within just 1 hour of him even arriving, the hunt is on. A young boy, whose own mother was the latest victim, leads Corbett down this crazy, treacherous path straight into the tiger's den.
And then he sees them. And the scene is just, it's wild. It's audacious. 2 nearly full-grown tigers just sleeping out in the open in the brilliant sunlight. It's the perfect shot, right? A hunter's dream. But this is the jungle. It's never that simple.
Okay, so this all happens in a flash. Bang! 1 shot. Bang! A second. And then a third. It's this flurry of controlled violence, aimed at 3 different tigers. And for just a split second, Corbett must have thought, it's over. I did it. Oh, he could not have been more wrong.
Yeah, that moment of victory, it vanishes in an instant. Because he quickly realizes the third tiger, the mother of those 2 cubs, she is the true man-eater. And now she's wounded, she's furious, and she has just disappeared into the dense undergrowth.
And this is where the hunt completely changes. Because now, the jungle itself is talking. It's alive with whispers. You know, every frantic bird call, every sharp chatter. It's not a clue for him anymore. It's an alarm system, and it's broadcasting his location. It's like the forest itself has taken her side.
So think about that. The roles have totally flipped. He's not just the hunter anymore. He is being watched. With every single step he takes, every snap of a twig, he has to be thinking, who is hunting who right now? He's on her home turf, and this wounded, starving man-eater is now making him the prey.
And it's almost like she's got some kind of supernatural luck. Because just as Corbett is closing in just 100 yards away, the sky just opens up. A total downpour. It washes her blood trail away completely, leaving him with absolutely nothing. The ghost has vanished. Again.
Okay, so days pass. Days of just relentless, exhausting tracking, all while Corbett is pushing his body way past its limits. And that physical crisis he's been battling, it's about to come to a terrifying peak. So he's basically fighting a war on 2 fronts now. There's the tigress out there in the jungle, and then there's this unbearable, blinding pain inside his own head. These electric shocks of agony. He knows he can't go on like this. Something has to break.
Pushed to his absolute breaking point limit, he makes this incredibly desperate, almost suicidal call. The hunt will not wait for dawn. He's going to face her tonight, alone, under the cold light of the moon.
And this midnight hunt, it's like a ghost story come to life. He's following her tracks in the moonlight, getting closer and closer. Then he spots her, just a shadow, 100 yards away, but he can't risk the shot. In a final, desperate sprint to cut her off, his body betrays him. Vertigo hits him like a truck, the abscess in his head bursts, the tigress is gone, and all he feels is a wave of pure, agonizing relief.
But that relief, it's short-lived. He wakes up the next day, physically renewed, but knowing that the tigress is now starving and more desperate, more dangerous than ever before. The final act is about to begin.
And then The man-eater makes her first mistake. Driven by starvation, she makes this brazen daylight attack, slaughtering 6 goats right near the village. In her desperation, she has finally given away her location.
So this is it. The perfect setup. The tigress limps into view. He has a clear shot. He fires, and she bolts, racing away as if completely untouched. It's an impossible miss. The ghost is escaping again.
And that's the point of no return. Fueled by disbelief and pure adrenaline, Corbett just abandons his cover and begins this desperate, all-or-nothing chase on foot after the wounded tiger.
The chase is short and it is brutal. He rounds a corner to find her, gathering herself for one last desperate charge. In that single, split second, with everything on the line, he fires the 2 shots that finally end her 8-year reign of terror.
The hunt is over. The terror has ended. But one question still lingers in the air. What turns a magnificent predator into a creature that hunts human beings?
And the truth, when they finally discovered it, wasn't a story about some monster born of malice. It was a story of unimaginable pain and a desperate, desperate will to survive.
This was her secret. 20 porcupine quills, some of them 6 inches long, were found festering deep in her leg and her shoulder. These old wounds had crippled her, made it impossible to hunt her natural prey. You see, she turned to humans not out of malice, but out of agonizing desperation. The monster was, in the end, a victim.